National says things are getting ever murkier with the latest release of all the government documents and communications regarding the Chief Technology Officer position. Deputy Leader Paula Bennett says it implicates a raft of other Labor officials and staffers, and the Prime Minister and her office are right in the centre. But the government says the documents released today do the opposite, and it's clear the Prime Minister, and they've cleared the Prime Minister of any undue involvement. Here's our political reporter, Gia Garrick.
The government released dozens of heavily redacted documents today. They include communications between Jacinda Ardern and the former Minister Claire Curran on WhatsApp, in which they discussed the Chief Technology Officer appointment process. It comes 2 days after the man who was lined up for the role, Derek Handley, released his own text and email communications with Ms Ardern and Ms Curran. With Claire Curran having now lost her ministerial portfolios over the saga, National is trying to drag Jacinda Ardern into the frame. Its Deputy Leader, Paula Bennett, says the communications make it clear that Ms Ardern has not been upfront with New Zealanders about the extent of her involvement.
I find it absolutely outstanding that so many people are involved. Claire Curran's almost been thrown under a bus. We now have the Prime Minister, we have a Chief of Staff, we have a Press Secretary, a Party President, all involved in this process. And I'd have to say the Prime Minister and her office are in the thick of it.
The new Minister for Government Digital Services, Megan Woods, who stopped the recruitment process for the CTO position when she took over Claire Curran's portfolio, rejects Ms Bennett's assertion.
It is clear from these communications that the Prime Minister was not involved in the shortlisting of candidates and that Claire acted independently on deciding who the preferred candidates were. The documents confirm that Mr Handley was offered the role pending conflict of interest checks. As I said at the time, this was reflected in the settlement Mr Handley received when the role was rescoped and the appointment process stopped.
Mr Handley was paid out $100,000, a quarter of the salary he was set to make as the government's Chief Technology Officer, after the government cancelled his job offer. Jacinda Ardern, who's in New York, yesterday denied having had any involvement she shouldn't have with Mr Handley or the role he was offered.
I've always said that I've had communications with him, that when I was first asked, I acknowledged that I've had contact with him. I acknowledged receiving messages in April, and again, he sent me one message mentioning the CTO role, and I did not engage with him on that. It would not have been appropriate.
Megan Woods says she's now going to take another look at what the country needs in the context of a leader in the digital sector.
One of the things that I've asked officials to go back and is actually consider what the core functions of the role are as a first place to start this rescoping.
Ms Woods says she'll have more to say at the end of November when she takes her rescoping of the position to Cabinet. In the meantime, the government will be hoping it can soon turn a page on the troubled appointment process. From Parliament for Checkpoint, Gia Garrick.